Okay. I don't know. I must have hit a button wrong or something. It had a little issue there. Uh, well, I guess I'm finally live. And finally, Mercy has settled down. I tell you, I come up here and I get set up, and she has to get in my business. Yes, I'm talking about you. She lifts her head and gives me like, "Are you talking about me?" Yes, I'm talking about you. Oh, anyway, I found my straw hat. I wasn't sure where I put. Oh, she fell off the bed. Mercy. She rolled over and rolled right off the bed. You silly little girl. I tell you. Ah, she's getting spoiled rotten. Ah, yes. I wasn't sure where I had my straw hat, and I found it the other day. It's like, yes, okay. That means we're getting ready for spring, right? Well, unfortunately, as you can see, I am still in the cabin inside where it's warm because right now there is a cold wind blowing. Yes. And Gracie insisted that she wanted to be outside, but it's sunny and we get the afternoon sun on the porch. And so she likes to lay out there and just sun herself. So hopefully she's not getting too much wind. I didn't like leaving her out there, but she insisted she wanted to stay out there. So, all right, I'll leave you out there. So, yeah, you probably, I don't know, you probably won't be able to tell, but let me see. Oh, it's way too bright. Yeah, you can't tell. Yeah. Hey, Stringfield Ridge, how you doing? I got my straw hat. So that means I'm getting ready for gardening season. Yeah, but it is blowing out there. We still have snow on the ground. Um, I don't know about where you are, but yeah, we got a little bit of snow. So, and I'll tell you something. I wish I knew how to share pictures on here. Oh, thank you. I like it too, but for the summer anyway. It's a little air conditioned for the winter, but yeah. So anyway, yeah, the I wish I could share pictures on here. I wish I knew how to do that because I got a picture yesterday morning of my goat mama. I have a tarp over the barn door. Our snow melted already. Okay, ours is in the process. We got at least 4 inches. I'm thinking it was closer to 5. I don't think we quite got the 6 like they were calling. So, but still, that was enough, you know. And so it is in the process of melting where the sun is hitting it. Anyway, so poor mama. And like I said, I have this tarp over the barn door, the goat barn, trying keep the heat in because I have one heat lamp that I mean I don't dare put a second one on the extension cord. So, but I've got the one heat lamp in there, and I knew it was going to be bitter cold, and so I had the tarp over there, and there's like this much of a gap. Okay, so anyway, she's sticking her nose under the tarp, and it's like, and there's all snow on the ground. It's like, do we have to come out? It was too funny, but it's like they did not. This morning it was so bitter cold. Uh, it was when I went out to feed, and this is after the sun had come up. Um, it was, I guess, with a time change, it would have been around 8ish. Um, anyway, it was 18 degrees here, and I went out to feed, and usually, like, I go down to the main barn, and I feed the ducks because they are so obnoxious when it comes to feeding time. Um, they're like a bunch of piranhas, and then I throw hay in for Honey and Chucky, and then I get to feed together for the goats, and I go and feed them. Um, and this morning, like I said, usually I can hear them calling to me like they want to be fed. This morning, not peep out of them. Nothing. I mean, I didn't even see Sheba out. It's like, really? It's like, boy, they must be cold. So I went out there and I almost had all the feet out before they all came out of the barn. It was cold. They did not want to come out. So, and then after I went back in, and after they finished eating their breakfast, they went back in the barn too. Yeah. So, anyway, speaking of goats, I don't remember if I mentioned it last week or not. But I believe it was, what day was it? I think it was Tuesday. It was Monday or Tuesday. Anyway, before the cold weather hit. Sugar kidded. Sugar had her baby. She had a little doeling, and I was so grateful she had her early in the week because that gave her a chance to bond with the baby before I put her in with the rest of the goats, which because I only could run one heat lamp with this bitter cold coming through. I didn't want to leave her in the buck barn by herself. So she kidded. It was either Monday morning or Tuesday morning. I have to check. Excuse me. I left my phone downstairs. I can't even check to see when it was. But I was so thankful that she had her before the cold hit. So she had 24 hours to bond with the baby, and where the weather wasn't bad, the baby had, got some nutrients into it and everything. So, she was good. And then I put her in with the other goats on Thursday, because Friday was going to be the really warm day. So it was Thursday. I moved her over into the big barn, the goat barn, her and her baby. And I'll tell you, first-time mothers are so funny, because she was in a panic. Where's my baby? Where's my baby? It's like, we're going to probably deal with this for another few days, I think. Well, it doesn't help. Like, I let them out this morning, and I was keeping Sugar in for a couple days, or I let the other goats out, but I wait to let her out until a little bit later in the day when it was warmer. And she wants her baby to follow her. Well, her baby's so tiny, and it's just like, hey, we had gone to church this morning, and just before we left to go to church, and like I said, our church is like real close to us. And just before we went, I let the goats out because they're happier when they're allowed to go out. And I figured, okay, Sugar went back in and calling her baby, and her baby wasn't coming. And I said, okay, well, we're only going to be gone for about an hour and a half, roughly. We didn't have to do any other errands today, so I figured, okay, they'd be all right. So I come back home right after church, and there she is behind the main barn, and she's calling and calling and calling. Okay, something's not right. Sugar's calling for her baby. I recognize the call, and I go over there, and there's her baby about a quarter of the way down the hill, and Sugar's up on the top of the hill. Well, not the very top, but up on the flat part of the hill. And she's calling her baby. And it looks like, how they look when they've gotten wet. Okay. She wasn't soaked through, which I discovered when I went to get her, but she obviously had gotten wet to a certain degree. I was like, okay, it's way too cold for this. Okay. I went and I picked her up, and of course Sugar is freaking out, but I wanted to put her back in the pan. Right now they're getting the warm afternoon sun right in the front of the barn, and it's the metal is black, so it absorbs the heat. But I put her in under the heat lamp, and finally got Sugar to follow me. If she can't see the baby, she doesn't. It's like, where's my baby go? Okay, I have her in front. Okay, here's Sugar. Here's your baby. Come on. And the baby's calling. Then I turn around to walk towards the barn, and she starts calling like, where's my baby? Where's my baby? I don't see my baby. It's like, you know how 2-year-old, peekaboo, I can't see you. Close my eyes, and they do this, and they think you can't see them. Okay, you know that's what it reminds me of. So anyway, so yeah, Sugar had her little girl. She's doing good. She seems so tiny, and maybe it's because the other kids are so bigger now. Um, but she just seems so tiny. Um, and I've got, let me see here. We have Mama and Moo Moo are showing prominently. Um, so I suspect that they will probably be next to Kid. Um, I'm not sure about Joy. I'm not sure if she's bred or not. Ruthie is bred. This would be her first time, and she's not that far. I don't think. I think she's got a little longer to go. I think Mama or Moo Moo will be the next to Kid, and I'm hoping they don't kid till things. Well, it is supposed to be starting to warm up now. So, but I figure I've got at least another week or two. It says here in fine print before there's any more kids on the ground. And then it looks like Daisy is pregnant. And that is, I mean, I really, really wanted her to get pregnant. That's my dairy goat. Because I'm hoping to milk her out. And I mean, if she, of course, I'd share with the kids or kids, whatever she has. Okay. And just take what we need. Okay. And let the kids have the rest. But I'm really hoping that I can make some cheese with her milk. I did pick up some rennet a little bit ago. I'm just in the process of getting things organized and together. I mean, I still don't have running water yet. I have to find all the plumbing stuff I have and make sure and see what I have to get yet. I know I need some plumbing pieces, but I have to work on that. Listening while I heat up lunch. Oh, okay. We had just got in from church. Oh, okay. I'll let you eat. That's fine. So yeah. So anyway, it looks very promising. Like Daisy is pregnant. So don't think that she will be due to Kid before the 1st of April. I have a tentative date of April 5th for her, but I'm not sure if that's 100% accurate because I saw Billy breed her a couple of times, and I'm not sure at what point I put her date in my phone. So I don't think she's going to be kidding before the 5th, April 5th. So that's good. But she may not kid till later on in April. It could even go as far as May, depends on what she's got. But Daisy I'm concerned about because her last pregnancy did not end well. The kid was dead inside of her, and it had to be pulled out of her. So hopefully she does not have the problems. I know that she was copper deficient last time, and I did not realize it. And she is no longer copper deficient. I probably should give her a little extra copper just to be on the safe side. Just because of what she went through before. And a copper deficiency will cause issues with kidding. So I'm hoping that with that remedy that she will have success with kidding this time. So, but that is praying that she has a good, safe delivery. Okay. As I would hate to see her lose her kid again. So anyway, now I did get more wood this week, and that's what we have been burning. Unfortunately, we had to get into the new pile of wood for the wood stove for this cold snap. We still have a few pieces left from the load that we had before, but the thing is, they're the big gnarly type, and I can't stabilize them well enough to be able to saw them, and if they're so gnarly you can't really split them easily. Maybe if I had a power splitter, I might be able to get them smaller, but right now they won't fit in the stove. So what I may do is I may just build a fire out in the yard somewheres and burn them there, because I mean I can use them for something. I've got some uh, what do you call posts that I need to burn the ends on because they're raw lumber. Uh, but and I could use those to, build a fire hot enough to burn the ends on the posts so I can use them. I plan on using them to to build out my workstation for the goats, where I'll have the turntable and set up my scale and whatever else I need to do, squeeze shoot or something. Um, so I have the post for that, and I've tried burning the ends with my propane. I have a propane long torch thing, when they call it a weed burner or something like that. Um, but it just seemed like I was burning way too much propane for it. So I figured, well, maybe I can just build a fire, you know, and just stick the ends in the fire and that'll burn it. So if I get a hot enough fire, they won't have to stay in there very long, just long enough to burn the very ends. So anyway, so that's what I'm thinking about doing with those pieces of wood. And this load, I had mentioned before, I was hoping that he would, because I told him that we had a pot belly. I was hoping that the wood that he brought this time would be a little bit easier for us to manage. And yes, I can say that the majority of the lumber was easier for us to manage. It's just in a pile right now, off to the side, not even up where we stacked it before, because I want to be able to build a woodshed to put it in. But since he's only cutting wood until April, I wanted to get it, because I mean, we're with everything else going on. I don't know if he's going to have to raise his price next year or not. But he says that he doesn't raise the prices on his customers. I said, yeah, well, if the gas prices go up, you can't deliver it for free. So, we'll see. I fully expect if the prices continue to stay high and rise up, that it may prices may go up for that kind of a thing. But I don't know. I was talking to some people in church this morning, and they were saying that the price locally has gone down a little. So I said, okay, well, that's a good sign, and we'll just have to see what happens. Because it's been scary. I talked to my feed guy. I get my chicken feed delivered, and he brought 2 bags of corn that he didn't have last time to me, and he delivered that on Friday. And we were talking, and he was saying how he just filled his diesel truck up earlier in the day, and diesel was over $5 a gallon. Oh, excuse me. And he also tells me that because of the outrageous price of fertilizer and the price of diesel, that a lot of the larger farmers are talking about not planting corn this year. And where he picks the feed up at, they were saying that they don't even know if they're going to have corn available to make their feed. I really like their layer mash, and that's what I feed my birds. And I also like their cracked corn, because it does have some fines in it, and the chickens like the fines. Everything is so expensive. It is, and it's getting scary because the higher prices are affecting productivity and availability. Really, it is. And so it is kind of scary because we don't know if there's going to be what the feed situation is going to be. And I was telling him that, well, I won't have the steer over winter next winter. So, and the only thing I'm feeding him aside from hay right now is alfalfa. And I throw a little bit of the calf manna stuff in there with it because, I just want him to have, the higher protein. Um, but once everything starts popping out with, grass and other forage and browsing and stuff like that, then I probably won't be feeding him as much. Um, I'll be cutting back on hay. But I did sell some chickens, and I'm really seriously going to be trying to downsize my ducks significantly. Right now, I have quite a few ducks. Of course, most of the drakes were supposed to be butchered, but I just haven't been able to do that. It's easier to butcher if you've got running water, and I don't have running water right now. So, so if I could get them butchered or sold, I don't care which. That would be that would cut down a lot of my ducks. I would you know, just to get rid of them, just so I'm not feeding them. They are pretty good foragers. They'll forage for themselves when there's something to forage for. But right now, there's not a whole lot available. I do see them starting to nibble on some of the fresh grass that's coming up, but there's just not a lot. So I am feeding them, and when it's cold like this, they get extra. You know, but I have too many hens, and when you have hens and you have drakes, you know what you end up with. And I have two duck hens that I know of setting on nests. And I had, I think all of the hens that hatched out ducklings last year, I think they all, well, one did 18 and the other two did 15. I had three hens that sat on a nest. Now the two that had the 15, they lost a good portion of their ducklings to predation or just losing them. So who knows? So it's like, do I just let nature take its course, or do I try and round them up and then I can try and sell the ducklings? Maybe keep a couple for me for future butchering. But at this point, I'm just thinking about, if I have them over winter, I have to feed them. And I do not want to have to overwinter that many ducks. Thinking I only want to keep one or two hens and one drake. That's it. No more than the three. I know there's one little hen I want to keep because she has a dot on her back end. And so I've been calling her Dot. So I'm going to be keeping her, and then I'll pick one other hen to keep. But all the others I want to get rid of. Now, my feed guy was also telling me, unfortunately, this last weekend or the weekend before, there was an auction up in Crab Orchard, and he went and he said that the chickens were not going very well, but that the ducks went very well. They brought nothing less than $10 a piece. Some of them went for $20. So, I mean, it was a shame that I had to miss it, but it's like I said, I had a guy coming to pick up some hens. So, to go, it was, I just couldn't make it this time. So there's another auction coming up. I think he said it in about 2 weeks in Casey County, and I've been to that one. So I'm going to try and take a load of ducks there. I might try and downsize some of my chickens. I'm not sure. We'll see. Get some of my older birds, the buffs. Anyway, I'm keeping the lavenders. I've only got 5 lavender hens because I haven't bred any yet. So I want to keep the lavenders, and I think I wanted to just get rid of some of the older, smaller buffs. I want to keep the larger birds, because the buffs are supposed to be, well, the Orpington breed is a dual purpose breed. They're supposed to be good for meat as well as eggs. And I've been getting some good eggs out of them, but not every buff is a good size. A lot of them are kind of on the small side. So, so I'm very seriously considering getting rid of the smaller birds and just keeping the larger ones. Some of the girls are, a decent size, but I've got a few that are on the small side. So I'll get rid of those. All of my lavenders are a good size, but they didn't come from a hatchery. Hi, Heavens Bound Homestead. Are you fermenting your feed for the hens to stretch it for the hens? I haven't started doing that yet, and but I am seriously thinking about doing that. The thing is that I don't have running water, and I don't have it completely set up yet for easy access for a hose or something like that. So yeah, that's what I figured you meant. So once I get the water situation, completely finished, so I can actually access the water, I'm not sure that I'll be able to do the fermenting, but I am very seriously considering that, because I have heard, was it Living Traditions was covering it, or who was it? Somebody else was doing it. And they were saying how it did stretch. Maybe it was Appalachia Homestead. Yeah, and she was working on experimenting with that too. And she said it does stretch your feed. And she used the analogy of, it's like oatmeal. When you cook oatmeal, I mean, you only use a small amount of dry. It doesn't look like much, but you put it in boiling water and you cook it, and it expands quite a bit. It's like, and it fills you up. Yeah. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, so I'm very seriously considering doing that. Another thing I'm looking to do, and this is something I mentioned to my feed guy, is planting extra sweet potatoes. I remember my mother telling me the old farmers used to feed their sweet potatoes to their pigs and their horses and their cows, and I mean, and they can eat the vines and stuff. So I'm thinking about doing that. I've got an area where I could plant sweet potatoes. And I mean, we would eat some of them, of course, but we don't eat that many. So I figure, you know what? If I can grow something that the animals will eat, I'll do it. It'll help to offset, the cost of their feed. Now, and there's other things too I can grow in the garden. I've got mine started. Okay, good for you. I haven't started anything yet. I tell you, but I did. I asked my wood guy, okay, if he knew anybody that delivered garden soil in bulk. I said, because buying the bags in the Lowe's or Walmart, it's like, it just seemed like it was going to be so much money for just the convenience of being in a bag. I said, surely there's got to be someone that has it in bulk. And he said, yeah, I might know somebody. I said, oh yeah, who? He says, me. I said, seriously? So I told him, once my check comes in, I will give him a call and I'll have him deliver a load. And hopefully one dump truck load of the composted garden soil will be enough to get me started. I said, I'll have some of my own, okay, between the goats and the horses and, of course, the steer, which will be gone in September, hopefully, and the chickens and whatnot. I mean, I'll have compost. It's just I don't have enough right now. I got to get it started. Yeah, so that was awesome. And, of course, he also does seedlings and stuff, too, so I'll have to check him out and see what he's got. There's a greenhouse on the highway not far from me that I went there last year and I got some seedlings, which the ducks and the goats promptly ate. Well, I don't know if the ducks got too many, but the goats certainly got to them. So it's like there was another garden wasted. Anyway, yeah. So So I've got that lined up. I just got to get my boxes built. And of course, with this cold and the snow and everything, that got put on hold. So hopefully, I can get to that this week. I'm going to take the topper off my truck and get a load of dirt. Oh, there you go. Unfortunately, I can't take the top off of my truck. So it's like something like that. I have to have somebody else deliver it. So hopefully, yeah, but that will be once my check comes in. When you get money coming in once a month. Thankfully, my husband and I do not get our checks on the same week. They're offset. He gets his 1 week and I get mine the following week. So we kind of like space things out with his check. We go to the dump and we shop in the grocery store in the town where the dump is. And then with my check, and hopefully his Canadian checks come in about the same week usually, we go to another town where we get Walmart and feed store and all that fun stuff. So we're trying to consolidate our trips so we're not driving all over creation. So that's what we're doing there. But yeah, one thing that my lumber guy was saying, not lumber, the wood, and now my garden soil supplier, he was saying that they can't get seed potatoes. They have been trying to find seed potatoes. And I mean, when they do find them, they're like way expensive. And he said he can't sell them because people won't buy them. They're that expensive. I said, well, I guess you can get the potatoes from the grocery store. I said, yeah, but they won't produce it. I know they don't produce as well, but at least he gets something, So, but he's stressing out over, supplying for that. I'm not sure if he said anything about onion sets. But I don't know if he was able to get onion sets. I wouldn't mind getting some onion sets in. But yeah, so he's talking about that, and my feed guy is talking about the feed situation and what he's going to do. He says he's not even going to put his incubator on this year. He's not going to hatch any eggs out this year because of the uncertainty of everything. So, and I'm like, okay, I can downsize my birds because it doesn't take much for me to be able to get my birds back up. Okay. But I can downsize that. I'm just praying I can work through the pain long enough to put the garden. Yeah. Well, hopefully, yes. Little by little, I hear you on that. It's like, I'm trying to, I'm not in a lot of pain, probably nowhere near what you're in, but if I have to get down on my knees, it's rough. So, if I can manage to not have to get down on my knees between my back and my knees, but I'm sure that what I go through is nothing like what you're going through. And hopefully with the warm weather, some of your pain will ease up. Let's hope and pray. But because I really do believe that this year it's very important for us to get a garden in. It would be nice if you could trade some chickens for some lumber. Yeah, but you know what? I don't know how much lumber my chickens would be worth, honestly. Especially since you have to feed them. You see, that's the thing. People are thinking they got to feed them. So, well, you got to feed ducks too, but I guess the ducks will feed you. And the one thing, I mentioned this to somebody else. I think it was Living Traditions. I mentioned this to them because they're altering their plans. They usually do the Cornish cross, and they said this year they're not going to do any. But I suggested that Muscovy ducks, they replenish themselves. They're very good breeders. The hens are very good mothers. They go broody, and you can get 2, possibly 3 broods a year. It depends on the hen now. Of course. Um, I had one hen last year that had a nest twice. Um, but she wasn't successful the second time. Not very much. She had a few of them survive, but not very many. Um, so anyway, they usually, you know, they're very successful mothers. They're very good, and they grow very quickly. Not as quickly as a Cornish cross, but they do. They grow faster than a chicken does. And I mean, if you can butcher them a little bit younger if you want to, they won't have quite the amount of meat. But once they reach a certain age, I say they're butcherable. Butcherable, is that a word? you know, we free range our chickens most of the time, but use a little layer pellets. Yeah, yeah. And I am so looking forward to cutting back on my feed bill. My chickens all free range, my ducks all free range, my goats free range, my steer free ranges. It's like the steer isn't supposed to be free ranging, but he is. But he stays with the goats. So the only one that doesn't free range is Honey, because I'm afraid if I let her out and she's gone, that I won't see her again. Okay, because who knows with her? She may latch on to my neighbor's horses and figure that she's home. So, and I don't need her running all over creation because she's a decent horse. But anyway, but everything else free ranges, and I know that nobody can walk up to anything else and just latch on and take them away. It would be very difficult. The goats, let me see, they're friendly, and they're a little bit friendlier with strangers now, more so than they used to be. But I don't think a stranger could walk right up to them when they're free ranging and just snatch them. Because even I have a hard time, and they know me, you know, catching them unless they're in a small pen. I mean, they'll come up to me and I can pet them and all, but we're going to grow some stuff for the rabbits this year to help. Yeah, I have 8 ready to butcher right now. Oh, there you go. See, that's something I haven't gotten into. Now I got the stuff to make rabbit cages with. I got the pliers and the J hooks to make cages, and I had thoughts of doing that, but what held me back was that you pretty much have to have the commercial feed for the rabbits, and I was like, do I want another feed bill? You know, so that's why I haven't gotten into the rabbits, is just because I'd have to feed them the rabbit feed. But I know you can feed them hay and you can feed them some other stuff. I just wasn't sure about completely cutting out the commercial feed. I've been thinking about getting rabbits. I love rabbit meat. Do you? Now, see, the only rabbit meat that I have had was a wild rabbit, and who knows how old it was, that a cousin of my husband's gave us when we were really, 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 really severely tight. Yeah, that was an issue, but they don't eat a lot. Well, that is good. That is one thing. That is a positive. They eat small amounts. But anyway, the wild rabbit, I ate it. It was okay, but I wasn't terribly fond of it. I've never had domesticated rabbit, and I hear that it's so much better. So, but I haven't done it yet. And it's like, do I want to get into that if I don't know if we'll eat it? So I'm still toying with rabbits. Now, can I butcher it? Well, I think maybe I can. Tame rabbit is so much better. Is it? Okay. Now, the thing is, the Muscovy, I know they breed well, but they forage. They are very, very good foragers. So, and they grow quickly. Now, if I had a better pen for them where I could lock them up at night and manage them a little bit better, which is what the intention was, but it's on the list. The list, it keeps growing longer and longer every day. But the rabbits, one nice thing about the rabbits is that you put them in the hutches and you don't have to go chase them down. Not that I have to chase down the ducks anyway. All I have to do is come out with a coffee can full of corn and they're right there, flying into my face sometimes. Yeah. The chair I'm sitting in is not very comfortable. It's bothering my hip a little bit. Uh, I like the wild taste of rabbit. Domestic rabbit tastes different. Yeah, it tastes different, but it's like I said, I've only ever had the wild rabbit once. That was many years ago, and it was like, it was okay. It was edible, but I wouldn't consider it my favorite. Now muskrat is very good. I butchered ours last time by myself. It's not bad at all. Worst part is the actual kill, of course. Yes, that is always the worst part, is the kill. I tell you, I can butcher a chicken. I've done it. Not looking forward to the plucking because I don't have a plucker. A commercially built plucker is like $300, and it's like, well, there's other appliances I need first before I get a chicken plucker. You know, so not going to get that. So if I do chickens at all, they're going to be plucked by hand. I have to admit, my husband's pretty good at plucking. Love muskrat. I would trap him when I was younger. Yeah. Oh, I tell you, I went to a muskrat dinner once with my father. Oh man, because my mother refused to go. She would not go. I said, I'll go. I'll try it. So I went with him, and oh, I tell you, it's the first time for both of us that we had muskrat, and we both loved it. It was delicious, you know. And I wanted to go to this dinner that they have. It's up in New Jersey. I wanted to go again, but I think it's in. I think the town that has it is Lower Alloways Creek. I think, um, but they have it every year. I've never had muskrat, but grew up on all kinds of other wild game. Yeah, oh, muskrat is really good. My mother would say, "I'm not going to eat a rat." She doesn't know what she was missing, I tell you. So I'll try anything at least twice, just in case the first time it wasn't cooked right. You know, hey, I even tried liver, and I tried liver twice, and it's like with me cooking it, it's like no, no, it wasn't going to happen. So I don't do liver. I do liverwurst. I do enjoy liverwurst. Um, I enjoy pate, but not just cooked liver. You know, people rave about liver and onions. It's like, no, no, not me. Tried it, did not go over well. So, but as we're having a wild game dinner at our church in a couple of weeks. So this will be interesting. I don't know what kind of wild game. I figure, of course, venison, and I suspect turkey. But I don't know if there's going to be any other kind of wild game. But we'll see. You know, I'd offer some ducks, but they're not wild. So, um, but yeah, I am really looking forward to the dinner. I love going to all nation gatherings. Oh, I haven't been. The food is just so wonderful. Kentucky Burger also is fantastic. Okay, you have to educate me. What's Kentucky Burger? I don't know I know what a hamburger is. Okay, but what's this? What is a Kentucky Burger? Just in case it's something other than ground beef. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Obviously this chair is not meant to sit on long term. Just it's what it is. It's a shower chair that I've been hanging on to because when I get my shower built, it's going to go in there. Um, oh, burgoo. Oh, I've heard of burgoo. I've never had it, but I've heard of it. So, and I can never remember the name when I'm like in half an hour after I get off of here and I go about my business. It's like my husband asked me, "So what is that dish?" It's like, I don't remember. I'll know it when I see it. And burgoo, that's it. Kentucky burgoo. Yeah. That's it's all kinds of different things all thrown in a pot, right? And it's like it's just boiled to death, right? It sounds interesting. I guess different places the recipe is slightly different. So you have like regional flavors to it. So one of these days I'll be able to get some, but I don't know when. So, because I've never seen it. Um, I love burgoo. You see, now I'm jealous. You guys talking about it, I've never had it. I haven't been any place that had it, available. So, I mean, I've heard tell of it, but that's it. Well, it used to be every kind of wild meat is a wild meat in Kentucky. They don't make it that way anymore. Oh no, they use standard stuff now. Yes, I've seen a few different ones. Yeah, okay. Yeah. That sounds it would be something interesting and I would be willing to try it. I definitely would be willing to try it. But it doesn't have beans in it too, I think. Or maybe it depends on the region. I thought I saw um, a description of it having beans in it. But that's okay. I'm not a huge bean fan, but so anyway, I'm getting on top. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to sit here because this is really bothering my hip. Um, the Indian nation still does the old way. Oh really? Now where do they have a festival or something? Sometime somewhere in Kentucky here? Because I would love, of course, if it's too far away, it's hard for us to get away. Um, but we'll see. If it's not too far away, maybe we could, make a day trip or something. Uh, anyway, yeah, I got a line on some cheaper hay. It's this year's hay or last year's hay rather, and she's got quite a bit left over from last year. There used to be three different ones. I would have to look at the calendar for this year. Let me know because I would be interested if it's not too far away for me. Um, I have Native American ancestry, but uh, not from around here. The one in Bardstown is a good one. Okay, I don't know where Bardstown is. I guess it must be west of me. Of course, I don't know every town around me yet, so I'm still working on it. My husband and my son are, but they both. Anytime there's some kind of a something going on, weather-wise or something, and they're saying, okay, where are we? I can identify our county and certain counties around us, and I'm getting to know where the different ones are and where the main towns are in those counties, but I don't know every one yet. So, but anyway, I'm hoping that next week I can let you know that I have some more raised beds, raised bed boxes built and get them positioned on the hillside. I figure okay, I've got a western exposure on that side of the cabin where it gets a hot afternoon sun. Okay, so I got to be careful what I plant there. And then I've got the north side where I have quite a bit of flat space. Um, and that would probably be okay for your cold weather crops like lettuce and brassicas, that type of stuff on the north side. And then I've got the east here. Now, I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with that because the original plan was to build on a full length covered porch. Okay. That was 12 feet wide. And, it was going to be a really nice space. But needless to say, because of the rise in building materials, that's not going to happen. So I thought, well, maybe we can build a small porch, enclosed porch, that like I could put a washing machine in. Um, but then with building materials continuing to rise, it's like maybe that's not going to happen either. Maybe I can just like build on a shower room and a laundry room. Uh, yeah. thinking, I'm wondering if I can get away with doing that this year. I don't know. I don't know. Uh, it's like if building materials would come down, it'd be a lot easier to do that kind of stuff. But right now, building materials is not only the problem, but also the feed availability and cost, food availability and cost. Like everybody's been talking about it, and I've just been talking to people locally here, and I'm getting the same feedback. And it all comes back to we are in far western Kentucky, so I don't know any over that way. My old Kentucky home. Oh, you're oh okay, okay. I thought for a minute there, I thought you were talking about the song. Ah, yeah. So anyway, just from what I'm hearing from the locals, um, and their concerns with different things. We're not sure about what's going on with hay. Like I said, I got a line on some cheaper hay that is last year's hay. And as much as I wanted to get a cement floor poured in my barn, I think it's more important to stock up on some hay, some cheaper hay while I can get it. I wish you could have gotten more wood from that old barn. Yeah, that would have been nice. Um, but a lot of it was wormy. It was eaten up with insects and stuff. So it wasn't the best quality, but I got to thinking, you know what? I probably could have used a lot of that barn wood to build my garden boxes with. It would have been a lot faster. And I've got a couple boards left down there that I can do that with. Um, but what can I say? Hindsight's always 2020, and it's like when you're trying to do so many things at once. I have the projects that's going in my mind right now. I'm trying to figure out what is the priority. Of course, is my rainwater catchment, which is right outside my window, and that has to be enclosed and the plumbing done and the pump hooked up and all that fun stuff. That's got to be finished. And then my garden boxes, I think right now they are going to be the priority. Everything else is going to be put on hold, and that's going to have to be done because I got to get a garden in this year. Um, my the run in for my barn, seeing as I only have honey now, and Chucky's going to be going. He's not going to be around next winter. I want to take half of that run in and make it into um, a goat stall, large goat stall, where I could put some goats in there, um, fence it off better, and maybe have a milking stall in there, a milking station in there. I'm mainly thinking about Daisy because I've got to have electricity. Uh, the dairy goats don't seem to be quite as hardy as the meat goats, so she needs to be pampered a little bit more, especially with kids and milking and just the cleanliness of the milking that's required. And it's like probably putting that in the barn, the main barn, is probably the better option. So if I can get electric in the barn, that would be probably the best thing to do, is to set that a section of the barn up for um, goats that require special attention, like Daisy, and where I can separate them out, because it's been difficult with Sugar having to be separated from the other goats until she gave birth. Um, the only place I had to put her was in the buck barn, which means I couldn't separate the buck and the boys. Okay, and the boys really do need to be separated. Okay, but I couldn't do it with Sugar in having to have that space. Um, Now she's not in there anymore, but I need to expand the pen. Um, so I've got to do that. That's on the list of things that needs to be done. I got fencing that needs to be done. I need the work. I don't know what you would call it. It's not really going to be a barn. It's going to be a sheltered space where I can have my head shoot rotating table for doing the goats, and the my scale and whatever else I think I need in there to work the goats. The sheltered part's only going to be, I forget how long they are. Are they 12 feet or are they 18 feet? 16 feet. I'm thinking they were 16 feet. I got the roofing material for it. So, and I'm thinking it's 16 feet. So if I can put that on there, then that's on the list. It's been on the list for over a year now that I've had the material. It's just a matter of getting it done. So there's just so many things on the list, and of course, once again, fencing. Fencing is an ongoing thing. Um, so I wish, yeah, okay, I read that. So it's just and of course, you also have what needs to be done inside the cabin too. I still have to get the shelf built that the sink is going to sit on, because until I can get the sink installed, I can have the pump and everything hooked up, but I won't have anywhere for the water to go into and out of. So I got to get that done too. So, I mean, I've got all these projects. Oh, Pineapple Meadows Hobby Farm. Hi. Hello, I caught this live just in time. Yeah, you did just in time, because I've been saying I'm going to get off because my hip is killing me. It's just the seat I'm sitting on. How very nice to see you. I see you've been busy. I haven't been able to watch all your videos. I've been seeing some of them though. Oftentimes I watch these videos and I can't comment because I have a dog, and then I have a cat, and then sometimes I have another cat all sitting on me while I'm trying to do on the computer, so it's like, so much for commenting. So, but you have been busy. I know you have been. So, and actually, I'm so very surprised that Mercy has been sleeping on the bed the whole time and not been over here since I've been on the computer. So maybe she's finally learned. Oh, anyways, I really do have to go. I got to check to see if Gracie's still outside and if she wants to still be out there. I figure she's probably cold. She gets cold so easy. I tell you, how I know when the wood stove needs to be stoked again at night, she will bark. She barks at night. That means I have to get up and I have to put more wood in the fire. Yes, okay. If I can slow down a minute, I'll have to try and catch up with everything you're doing, but I know you've been busy. So, you guys see this cat. I'll tell you, cats, I'll tell you, between cats, dogs, goats, all kinds of fun. All kinds of fun. But my phone is not working right today. Oh, really? Oh. Well, you know what? There was supposed to be some kind of a solar event that was going to hit the Earth today. So maybe that's what's messing up your phone. Well, anyway, I guess I need to get off this here computer and get busy doing something. I gotta stretch this is just killing my hips. So I will have to let you all go, and hopefully I'll have even more news for you next week. It's like, if I ever get around to getting my computer issues straightened out, my technical difficulties, I can post some videos. But until then, all I got is a live stream. So it just means I can't show you as much stuff as I want to show you. So solar flare, yeah. And it's supposed to hit around 7. Oh, was that one it was? Okay. I didn't hear what time it was supposed to hit. All right. Well, everybody take care out there. Stay warm. It is going to be warming up. Gardening season is right here on the cusp. So time to get planting. Well, maybe not planting, but planning anyway. Get the garden plan going. I've got to get the boxes built and loaded up with soil. And I got barns I got to clean out and get the compost set up for that. So anyways, all right. I will see you next week if I don't see you beforehand. So take care, everybody. See you later.